morning is at about 5:40 on Thursday, March 5th. Thank you for joining me. And for me, this is actually the second time I filmed this because the first time, I don't know what the hell happened, photo booth. You did not record the film. Like, it didn't pop up. So I'm not really sure what all happened. So this book that I am reading is one that I'm really excited about because I stumbled upon it on Facebook. Meta, and is by author Joe Glenn, and it is called Cubby by Joe Glenn. Voice kind of cracked a little bit there, but this book was a surprise hit for me, 5-star little hit, and really enjoyed it. It was a layered story that goes between the 1960s, present day, that kind of thing, and really imaginative, really original, very sharp. So I'm going to start the read, talk about it a little bit, because like I said, this is the second time doing it for me. I don't know what the hell happened. All kinds of technical issues. And I'm a technical guy. WTF. So, Chapter 1 from Cubby. And sorry I don't have the physical copy, but there'll be something in the video. You can see the actual cover, which was why I chose the book. Great synopsis, great story, but I looked at the cover and I said, I'm reading that one, which you're not supposed to do because I judged a book by its cover. But Chapter 1. The house sat on a gentle rise about 15 minutes outside the city. It was close enough for errands and late-night takeout, but far enough to feel like the start of something new. Emma liked this place. It struck a balance that she hadn't realized she was craving. The kind of place where you could raise a baby without sirens at night. The road curved through wind-worn trees before opening up to a small gravel driveway flanked by dry grass and a mailbox that leaned a little to the left. Great description. 2 seconds and you're totally there. Daisy barked once from the back seat as Caleb put the car in park. We made it, he said, half smiling at Emma as he turned off the engine. Emma let out a long breath, relieved they were finally moving in. Her hands rested on her pregnant belly like she was studying something inside her that had nothing to do with the baby. The house was older than it looked, tall, thin windows, faded blue paint, and a porch that needed sanding, but it had charm. Not the HGTV kind. I have no idea what that is. I assume it's some kind of a show that, redoes houses or whatever. I'm sort of out of the loop with stuff like that. Sorry about that. It looked and felt like it had memories. Emma wasn't a fan of the half-scorched barn, but Caleb had insisted he could fix it. They'd been looking for months, narrowing down their choices between sprawling suburbs and overpriced condos, until this listing appeared late one night. There were minimal photographs in the listing, and it looked like the place that wanted to be left alone, which somehow made Emma want it more. They started unloading right away. Emma moved slowly, her center of gravity thrown off by her expanding belly. Caleb kept glancing at her, trying not to look like he was hovering. The nursery-to-be was tucked down the hall with a single window and peeling wallpaper in yellow stripes. Emma ran her hand along the windowsill. The whole room needed a good cleaning and repainting, but she didn't mind. The room was quiet in a way that suggested it had been waiting for the sound again. The mint green we picked out will be perfect. I'm going to fast forward a little bit to the scene where she goes to the attic. She hesitated at the bottom, looking up at the dim space. The air had a dry, still quality like it had been sealed for years. She climbed slowly, one hand on the rail, and pushed open the door at the top. The attic wasn't scary, not exactly, just quiet. Dust floated in thin rays of light from a single-pane window. Boxes were stacked against the far wall, along with a few old pieces of furniture draped in gray sheets. There was a door, but when Emma jiggled the knob, it wouldn't open. I hope they give us a key for that thing at closing. And then, tucked in the back corner, under the sloped edge of the roof, something caught her eye, a cedar chest. It sat low to the ground, its brass hinges dull with age but not rusted. Emma knelt, brushing a fine layer of dust off the lid. It opened without resistance. Inside, nestled against the smooth wood, was a teddy bear. Soft brown fur, glassy black eyes, and a perfectly tied blue velvet bow. No dust, no damage. It looked like it had been placed there carefully, intentionally, like it was meant to be a housewarming gift. Emma blinked. Her first instinct wasn't fear. It was a glimmer of recognition, like the bear had been meant for them. She reached in and lifted it out. It was heavier than she expected, warm even. Not from the sun, there were no sunlight in the chest. Aren't you adorable, she said to the bear, and gave him a little boop on the nose. Emma, the moving truck is here, Caleb's voice echoed from downstairs. Coming, she called, tucking the bear under her arm. Probably one of the best openers because it was paced really well. I don't want to say that it moved slow. because, I mean, it's sort of like reminiscent of the move-in. What's that one house? It's Amityville. It's like the move-in there, where you know, a cute little family, their whole thing, and then something is stumbled upon. Ooh, but it's a teddy bear. How could that be bad? Anyway, the story is very original, very frightening, and I think I don't know why, but I thought it was like a young adult selection. I will make a note of that in my review on Substack and everything. And if it is, it's a frightening little story, but the way that it does so is very smart, because it's not bombastic or anything like that. It's not in your face. It's just really good and haunting. So 5 stars, no doubt. Very good book. As an author writer myself, there are times where you tend to look at writing and you might be, or want to be, I should say, a little bit critical of things like maybe mechanical components to the writing or whatever. I have to say, in Cubby, nothing stood out to me. That's not saying it wasn't there. I mean, like me myself, I tend to reuse words a little too much, drives my editor crazy. But in Cubby, I don't remember seeing anything. So, like I said, that's not necessarily a product of, like, say, the perfect works, but it was not noticeable to me. I was entertained, which is what you want a book to do, because no such thing as a perfect write, but the reality is, if you're entertained, who gives it? So, anyway, thank you for joining me. This was the second time around. Maybe it just needed to be shorter and sweeter. I don't know what happened, so hopefully this video takes. That way I can upload it, share it with you guys. Highly recommend Cubby. 5 stars, fine holiday fun. Once again, thank you for joining me. Hopefully nobody's asleep. I know it's really early in the morning. And join me for the next one, which will be an advanced reader copy, because Cubby's available now